I moved in with my ex-roommate over the spring. After a few months, decided to get my own dog, seeing as he had his own dog. Went out and bought a brand new puppy, brought it home, and after a week, under his supervision, as I was off at the office at work, he lost my dog. And I had to pay $1,000 reward to the nearest neighbor who found it.
Can you tell me why he was in charge of your dog?
He was in charge of my dog because I brought a brand new purebred puppy who, in order to be taken into the office where I work, which is dog friendly, had to be given vaccinations. And for the first couple months, we couldn't get all those vaccinations in. So,
okay. And did he work from home?
And yes.
Okay.
Devin worked from home. And
did he agree to, I presume you agreed to watch the dog?
Yes,
I did, Your Honor.
All right, you can put the paper down.
Sure.
Were you paying him to do that?
Yes, I was paying him $20 a day to look after
How did the
Buttons.
dog get loose?
The dog got loose because I let him out. It was just like any other day. I let him out in the back to relieve himself. I went to the bathroom for a few minutes. To be honest, that particular day, I was a little fed up with Buttons, his dog. And so...
Why were you fed up with the dog?
That dog, for that first 4 days that I watched him, he was just a living nightmare.
How so?
I have evidence that shows the damage that he caused around my place.
Okay, had you not been around the dog before you agreed to take care of the dog?
No, but...
I thought you guys were housemates or roommate. Do you live in separate... How does he have a dog that you haven't seen before?
He promised me that the dog was going to be easy to take care of, and we were good friends. I didn't feel like there was a need to, screen the dog, see if I could...
Right, but after the first day when the dog... Oh.
Yeah.
So he's a chewer and a biter. And so after the first day when the dog... so this is a picture of what? What did the dog destroy there that's all over the floor?
That's garbage all over the floor. Probably some chewed up socks, I believe.
All right, so the dog is a little unruly, I take it.
A little bit.
And is... you know that by day one. Why don't you tell him, look, this isn't going to work. You got to get a dog sitter. I can't do this.
I did, but I told him 4 days after just to give it a little bit more time to see if things might have changed.
Yeah, but by the time you told him, the dog had escaped already. Or did you tell him before that?
No, I told him before that.
When did you tell him?
The first time I told him was on July 14th. And then he escaped July 22nd.
Okay, so you took care of the dog for a while.
I would say so.
All right, so when you told him, what did you tell him? Did you tell him, hey, the dog's unruly and I can't handle this? And he said, but you gotta? Like, what's that mean? You don't have to do anything.
I told him what you got, what was bred was not a dog, it was a demon, Your Honor. And
you were kind of annoyed at him because he got a purebred dog.
That yes, I'm not denying, but he promised me, I only agreed to watch that dog because he said that it would be a piece of cake. In the text that he has, it says, he'll be asleep most of the day. And that's what I agreed to. I didn't agree to anything else.
On the day that you're taking care of the dog and the dog escapes, you're taking care of the dog,
yes,
right? You would agree to take care of the dog that day, and you were getting paid $20 to take care of the dog that day.
Yes.
How did the dog escape?
The dog escaped. I let him out in the backyard. I went to the bathroom for a few minutes. Took a little time to myself. Like I said...
How long did you have the dog unsupervised in the backyard?
3 to 5 minutes, I'd say, but that's normal. That's,
Okay. How did the dog escape? How did the dog escape?
When I went back out into in the backyard, I noticed that there was a gap in the gate, and I figured that's where he must have escaped from.
Okay. Now...
But it was a small...
You have a dog as well, right?
Yes, but he would never have gone through that.
Your dog didn't escape?
No.
Your dog is bigger than his dog?
Yes.
Your Honor, barely.
So, just a moment. So the dog escapes, and you realize the dog escaped, and what do?
As soon as I figured that he was out in the street somewhere, I called him immediately right after.
I feel like the defendant is exaggerating a tiny bit. It's not just an adult dog. It's a 2-month-old puppy. Of course, they're going to chew on things. They're going to bite on things. They're going to destroy things. The whole house is going to be a mess. And that's what dogs do. And if the defendant already had a dog, he should have been well aware of the behavior that puppies have. Even if the puppy's behavior came as a surprise, the defendant had plenty of time to inform the plaintiff that he will no longer be looking after the dog because he just cannot manage the dog. However, that's not what happened. The defendant got frustrated, and maybe, just maybe, I'm not saying he did it on purpose, but maybe for a second, he decided he doesn't really care. And I understand the frustration, but instead of waiting for it to get to the point when it's that bad, just talk to the owner and say you're no longer gonna be looking after the dog and return the dog. Let's go back.
And you told him your dog got loose.
Yes.
And what did you do to help find the dog?
I looked everywhere that I could within the immediate vicinity, but then I felt the rest, I felt it would be best for him to wait for him and, figure out how to proceed.
And was he mad when you called him?
He was more than mad. I couldn't even get a word to him. Like, I couldn't explain to him the situation.
Did you go home?
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
You
Almost
did?
immediately.
Okay.
I heard my baby was gone.
Okay. And so what did you do?
I immediately drove back. All I could think of was whether he'd been run over or kidnapped. Got back, searched all over the apartment because clearly this one can't be trusted. Searched everywhere, searched the garden, went around the garden and the gate and the borders, and then ended up driving around the neighborhood for hours.
Did you ever find your dog?
Yes. So after I did all that, I put up reward posters for $1,000 for the dog.
Could you repeat that number?
Oh, $1,000. I heard him just fine, and so did you. Go ahead.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Heard me.
Okay.
And after a few days, a lovely old lady gave the number a call. It took a few days. I was really worried.
Oh, you must have been heartsick.
I was sick to my stomach.
All right. So a lady finds him and says what? How did she find him? Where did she find him?
She said she found him outside her front doorstep. Said she went outside.
How far away from you was it?
Probably a 5-6 minute drive.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how did he look? Was he okay?
He was okay. He was bloated. I think he'd been eating a lot of trash while he was out. But other than that, in perfect health.
How
I took
old
him
was
to the
this
vet.
puppy?
2 months.
And he wasn't like frenetic and upset and...
He's a special boy.
That is a resilient puppy who should barely even be weaned if he's only 2 months old. And he's... All right, so now the puppy is fine. You pay this nice lady her $1,000, and she didn't say, "Oh no, I'm just happy that she took your $1,000," and you feel that he has to reimburse you the $1,000.
Yes.
Because it's his fault that the dog got loose.
Exactly.
And your answer to that is?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
First off, he lied to me. He was irresponsible.
Oh, forget about all that. You can't use that as an excuse because you knew exactly who the dog was, and the $20 was green enough.
He didn't even know who the dog was.
It doesn't matter. You kept on taking care of the dog instead of saying, no, get a dog sitter. I'm not doing it. So you still have a responsibility to make sure you don't lose the dog. What else have you got?
Well,
did you ever agree to pay the $1,000?
No.
Did he ever talk to you and say, hey, I'm going to offer a reward?
No.
And you need to pay it?
He went on his own accord to make that that missing dog poster.
Is that accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so if clearly he was negligent and the dog got out, because he should be watching the dog, and he should make sure before you leave a dog loose that they can't scoot out. A little dog is always an issue. You should be looking around and make sure there are no holes or whatever else.
Your Honor.
But now stop. But explain to me how he is obligated now. What if you had offered $1 million? Would he have to pay $1 million?
Exactly.
In a dream scenario, Your Honor, yes.
I do not believe that this is how it works. And the judge is absolutely right. If the plaintiff decided to go above and beyond and offer an insane amount of money for finding his dog, I don't think that defendant should be held responsible for this. And in the very beginning, I would like to point out to you guys, if you remember, the judge said that she feels like the defendant had a problem with the plaintiff getting a pure breed dog. And I wonder why. If he has the money, if he has the ability to care for a pure breed dog, why not? I know they're expensive. I know they're very delicate in care, and most of them do fall sick more often than regular dogs. However, if he doesn't mind, so why would defendant be against it? Let's go back.
Okay. The problem is no. let me explain something. There has to be a reasonable relationship between your damages and the bad act. When you come to court, what you're saying is that side did me wrong and I'm out X. So if you were to tell me, Judge, I had to go to Office Depot and pay $40 for photocopying to put these flyers out. I mean, you know what? That's a foreseeable expense. So yeah, pay the guy the $40. If you were to tell me I had to put an ad in the paper, you know what? That's a foreseeable expense. Give the guy the money for the ad in the paper. Those are reasonably foreseeable consequences of the bad act. The bad act being the negligence of not being careful. Though, when you decide to give $1,000 reward, that may be the best decision you ever made. That may be exactly what got you the dog back. So don't get me wrong. But for me to pin that on him, that has to be a reasonably related, foreseeable consequence of the bad act. You know, his version of this is, hey, that lady would have returned him to you the minute she found them anyway, because I presume your dog had a collar with the number and stuff.
Indeed.
Right. You know, who knows if she even knew about the reward. And so it wasn't necessary for you to make an offer of $1,000. Or you could have made an offer of $100. Or you could have made an offer of $300. Or you could have see, you sua sponte made a decision that you were going to make this offer, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean that he is then bound by decisions that you made on your own. So, verdict for the defendant, and good luck to everybody.
I feel like we kind of all knew that was going to happen. I don't think the defendant should be held responsible for whatever award was put on the flyer. Was he negligent in caring for the dog? Yes. Should he supervised the dog more closely? Yes, especially since it's just a puppy. And puppies, sorry to say, they're not that smart. They can sneak out and they don't see the danger. They don't feel it. They're dogs. They do what dogs do. But having said that, I believe the defendant should have returned the dog to him and refused to care for the dog when he started sensing there are problems with the dog. And the plaintiff should have made it his problem to either find a dog hotel or find another dog sitter for his puppy and not to burden the defendant. What did you guys think about this case? Do you believe the judgment was fair, or do you think the defendant owes that money? Please put it in the comments below, and thank you for watching.